Unplugged. We're really excited today because we're going to meet somebody very special. This is Chef Brandi of Southern Flair, and you're from the area, and you got a pretty interesting background, so we're really excited to get to know a little bit more about you today.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here today.
So, people might recognize you from MasterChef, but that's not where I want to start.
Okay.
I want to get to know a little bit more about you. Kind of what motivated you to get into culinary? I mean, people might be interested in cooking, but
Right.
There's more to it than that.
Well, so we got to go way back. I've always loved food and ingredients and cooking. My grandparents owned a restaurant before I was born. My great aunt has a restaurant in North Carolina. I used to cook Christmas cookies and stuff with my grandmother, and I had thought about going to culinary school after high school, but I got pregnant with my first son my senior year of high school. I had Mikey when I was 17, and that was just not the right career choice. So I became an elementary school teacher, taught for 10 years, but I really wanted him to be exposed to all different types of cuisine. I didn't want him to suffer, from having a teenage mother. So that's when I really got into cooking, was when I was 17. And then fast forward a few years later, I taught elementary school for 9 years. I had my master's in administration, and one day a commercial came on that MasterChef was doing auditions for the first time in Kentucky, and I was like, what the heck? It was like a kid bringing a pie to the county fair. I just wanted somebody to taste my food, and I went through all of this process the entire day with food critics and, people talking to me and stuff, and they said, we want you to come back tomorrow for an on-camera interview. And I literally said on camera, I've never been on camera before. And they were like, but this is a TV show. And I was like, yeah, but I didn't think it would get this far, So it was never about the TV for me. It was always about the food.
Well, speaking of food, if you've got that family background cooking with your grandparents, you must have a family cookbook or something or a favorite recipe. I'm just curious. And obviously, you don't have to tell me the secret.
Right. No, there's tons of family cookbooks, on my mom's side and my dad's side. A favorite family recipe, gosh, desserts. Both of my grandmothers, all different kinds of cakes. My grandmother who passed away made this hummingbird cake, and she used like real peach nectar in it and stuff. And I've been trying to replicate that for years, but I just now found her recipe for it. So.
Okay. Well, we got to meet at the Dirty Dog Bash, and you catered that, and you had a fantastic cake. I can't remember what it was.
That was my blackberry bourbon cake.
Yes, fantastic.
You're going to be watching for a video later today. I'm actually releasing the recipe for that sauce today.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's going to be good. But it was so delicious, and I was thinking, like the family cookbooks. My great grandmother, she loved to cook too. Never went into a professional career cooking, but even if she had written down any of her recipes, it would have just been a pinch of this and
chicken
a dash.
Scratch,
yeah,
right?
Nobody would have been able to reproduce what she made.
Right.
So it's cool that you're able to take that and kind of pass that on to the next generation.
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of writing a cookbook right now too. I don't have a title for it, but it's kind of centered around like my actual cooking style. People ask me all the time, like, what kind of food do you cook? Well, really, I cook all kind of food, but upscale Southern, I think, is what you would say. So many people around the world think that Southern food is just fried chicken and biscuits and gravy. So I like to take
the comfort side. Yeah.
I like to take simple Southern ingredients and turn them into something more. Show people that Southern food can be so much more than that. It can be elegant. It can be upscale. You don't have to buy a million fancy ingredients and charge an arm and a leg. It can be great, delicious food.
Yeah, absolutely. I can say your food is absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
So you did end up on season 7 as a finalist. You want to talk a little bit about your time on MasterChef?
Yeah. So when I went into season 7, I was so naive, y'all. I was just happy to be there. I couldn't believe I was there. It took most of the competition for me to realize that, like, I was worthy of being there. And it really changed my entire life. First of all, it changed my career. I used to teach elementary school. I'm a private chef and caterer now, but it gave me a whole different outlook on life. I was put in a situation where I was by myself across the country, no one to take care of me but me, and I just learned, like how strong I was and like all the things I could do. So I came back, with a totally different mindset. And I didn't win, but it did so many things for my life, in so many different ways.
Well, and that's actually really interesting because it gave you kind of this new perspective. It's a paradigm shift, I guess.
Yes.
Certainly, there are people out there who probably are elementary school teachers. We'll just say whatever it is, and they've got a passion for cooking, and you followed that passion, and it led you down a completely different career path.
Or a passion for anything. I feel like we're taught from such a young age at school that it's like you need to pick a career, you need to stick with it, and you get this retirement, and you'll do this and this. And, we're asking children to decide what they want to do with their lives. And my son actually asked me after the show, I was still teaching at the time, I was cooking, I was modeling for a jewelry company, and he said, so now you're a teacher, a chef, and a model? And I said, do all the things that make you happy. Like, you don't have to stay doing something that you're not happy with, or that, teaching was a wonderful time in my life. I love children. I love the education system. I still volunteer and stuff in my kids' schools when I can, but it's like, you can still do so many things that you want to do, and like now I'm going to write a book. There's no telling what I'm going to do next, and I finally have the perspective that you don't just have to do one thing.
Right. And the other part of that, you talked about kind of going into MasterChef, feeling like, man, this is way too big for me type of
Yes.
thing. You get into that imposter syndrome almost. Where
And I do it all the time.
I do too. and many people do. You think that you are not capable or you don't belong, and you're just telling yourself lies.
Right. And that's like, I love cooking, and my favorite thing about cooking is making people happy with my food. Like the look on someone's face, or, when they take a bite of something. So it doesn't matter how many times I cook something, when someone eats it, I'm like, do you like it? Are you happy? Because that's what I like doing, is making people happy with my food.
Oh, my wife would tell you that she's very much the same. She loves cooking. She loves making people happy with food, and she'll do the same thing. And I'm like, it's just food.
No, it's so much more. Food is a universal language. No matter who you are, where you're from, what language you speak, your background, food is what brings people together and like what connects people, and it's such a powerful thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I know that you went on to what it was like MasterChef All-Stars or something.
Back to win.
Back to win. Do you want to talk about that at all?
We can,
okay.
Yeah. I've even blogged about this too. It's on my website. Back to Win happened at a very hectic time in my life. I actually turned it down to start with. My youngest daughter was 9 months old when they called. And I was like, y'all, this sounds great and everything, but like I have a little baby, that I can't just leave for months and months. And they were like, well, we can work around it, And so I still jumped through the hoops and sent the videos and did the things they asked. And, they called and told me they wanted me there, but they couldn't do anything about my daughter. And I said, well, sorry, I'm not coming. And they were like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I can't. So they called back in a few weeks and said, this came from the very top. We want you to come. You can bring your daughter, and you can bring someone to watch her. Which is crazy because, the first time I went, I talked to my sons twice for 10 minutes each time over the course of 3 months.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get family interaction, and I showed up this time with a whole baby. So when the rest of the contestants, after filming were relaxing or going to the hot tub or sleeping or studying, I was taking care of a whole baby at night. So it was a really wild time of my life. I'm glad I went back. I always have the mindset of I hate being stagnant. I'm always looking for a way to push myself, to keep moving forward, And, it just kind of lit another fire underneath of me. Anytime that you have the opportunity, I had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity going to MasterChef, and I got it a second time. Yeah. To just be able to stand in a room, with chefs of Gordon Ramsay and Aaron Sanchez's caliber, and to be able to learn from them and listen to them and, have that mentorship it's amazing. It's a lot of people would jump at the chance, to be able to learn from them.
So do you think that maybe you were able to make some friendships or connections through that?
Definitely. So season 7, we were like a huge family. It was crazy. They had to create a new rule our season where you couldn't help each other.
Oh.
Because we would be on the balcony and be like, no, not 3 eggs, 5 eggs. And this time, I was the only one there from season 7. And I kind of looked at it as a positive because, I had formed such strong friendships with those people that it would be sad to go against them and, you ever send them home. And this time I went in and it was like, I don't know none of y'all. But I did form friendships. Shane the Train, he was a junior. He's from Texas. Great kid. He reminded me of home, super Southern. So he was great. He would even, help me carry my wardrobe into set and stuff. Perfect little gentleman. The other junior, Dara, so sweet, such an amazing person. They were great on there. I made several new friendships this time. Big Willie, Michael, he's in the finale tonight. I did. I made some great connections and great friendships, and I've got friends all over the country now.
Awesome. So let's talk about where you go from here. So you were an elementary school teacher. You went on MasterChef. Now you've got your own catering, and Southern Flair with Chef Brandi.
Yes.
You got anything big coming out of that?
I do. I've got lots of big things coming out. I'm in the process of writing a cookbook right now, which I'm really excited to share with everybody. And I've also been filming my own show. We've got the first 2 episodes filmed, to shoot to networks. So that's probably like the ultimate dream for me. I would love to have my own culinary show.
Oh, yeah.
But, we're flying across the country to do dinners. We're going to Texas in the spring to feed 500 people. Honestly, my favorite things to do are the private dinners, the in-home dinners. You really get to know the clients. You're creating and cultivating a menu specifically for them. So it's like a whole experience doing those. Yeah.
I think you gave some good advice for anybody who might be interested in, and like you said, pursuing anything, really. It's not necessarily just going to be a chef. Follow those dreams, right? That is fantastic advice. So if people are interested in learning more about Chef Brandi, where can they try some of your food? Or
Yes. So I've got a great website. It's southern-flair.com. You can view my menus on there. You can actually contact me for private events or catering events, or even, to just ask me a question. There's an inquiry place on there. You can follow me on any social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I'm sure you all can put that up on your page. I do all kinds of recipe videos, and give tips and tricks in the kitchen. So love all y'all to follow me.
Absolutely. Is there anything else that you would like to say in closing to the listeners and viewers?
I don't think so. Just, you're stronger than you think you are. If you have any doubts, that'll be your biggest obstacle in life, is your own self-doubts. Just try it. What's the worst that could happen? It not work, Yeah.
No, that's fantastic advice. I like that. It's a good message to close with, too.
Yeah.
Chef Brandi, it's been a pleasure. We're going to have you back sometime, especially when you get the cookbook coming out.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. That would be a good gift for lots of, I know a lot of people who like to cook.
Yes.
Well, Chef Brandi, it was a pleasure. Of course, this is Unplugged. We will have all her contact information in the description. And Chef, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.